Well, I think overall, especially for tourism, we're not finding huge economic impacts. There are certainly some people, some businesses, some subsectors that are being affected. We think the smaller mom and pop hotels, bed and breakfasts, did see a downturn over the summer. Fisheries, the fisheries, shrimping industry certainly were affected with the closures of the Gulf Coast fishing areas over the summer. And we're trying to quantify some of those impacts. We expect this analysis to go on for 2 to 3 years at least, because of the fact we're not sure what's going to happen with the fisheries. Wait and see next summer whether perhaps some of the tourists that would have come to Mississippi over the summer and went to a place like Myrtle Beach may have permanently changed their habits and gone. So we're going to continue to monitor this over the next few years. There are at least 2, maybe 3 different studies going on. We are working with the governor's office. A portion of our funding for this project came from the governor's office. Southern Miss is partnering with the other research universities in the state, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and Jackson State, on this larger project that really is looking at both economic and social impacts of the oil spill. My portion is focused on economic impacts, but there are some folks looking at social impacts as well.
Mm-hmm. Can you talk about the casinos maybe? I heard maybe their numbers were down before the spill.
Yeah, their numbers have been down, certainly related to the downturn in the economy. They've seen their revenues drop off 10 to 20% over the last couple of years. There is quite a bit of variation from month to month in casino revenues, so it's hard to pick out what's causing, at least on the short term, variations in casino revenues. There may have been some small effect over the summer, and we're still trying to determine that, but it doesn't appear that the casinos were affected very strongly by the oil spill.
Mm-hmm. But certainly the fishermen were, the shrimpers.
The fishermen certainly, basically the month of July was closed off from any fishing, and that's one of the major harvesting times for shrimpers. The shrimpers do most of their harvesting over the summer, and so as a result, shrimp harvests were down, 100% in July, but as much as 80 to 90% in June and August also. So certainly shrimpers were negatively affected.
Mm-hmm. And probably this next summer will be a lot better than this.
Well, we don't know, actually. That's something we're going to be watching. Shrimp can survive an event like this fairly well, the full-grown shrimp, but we're not sure about the shrimp larvae and the oyster larvae. In some previous oil spills in other parts of the world, they found that in the 2 to 3 years after the oil spill, that the production of those types of seafood are really affected because of the fact that the larvae, the eggs of these creatures cannot survive the toxic conditions that were present. The finfish, as they're called, the tuna, those type, they swim away while the toxins are here, but they tend to come back quite quickly. So we're optimistic about that. We're sort of in a wait and see scenario about some of the shellfish.
Now, are you partnering at all with any institutions in Louisiana or Alabama?
Not formally. We've talked to more so in Alabama, some folks over there with Auburn University that are really oyster specialists. Talked about partnering on some research with them. Eventually, as we get a better handle on it, we will try to get more of a Gulf of Mexico wide, at least conversation going about it.